Today we'll focus on one of the key messages you must tell yourself to get over one of the most significant mental blocks which stops creators from becoming profitable. Do not let perfect be the enemy of good. This segment is brought to you by Lil Nouns, an expansion DAO based on the famous Nouns DAO who fund cool creative endeavors which can proliferate the Nounish meme. I'm actually going to give you an exact example of how we at The Modern Market produced some truly bad and average stuff at the beginning, and how we're actually still average in some ways, but we are in a better position now just by taking action, and it has not hurt our profitability. The first example is with equipment. People always ask me about what equipment they need to start a space or how to stream here and there. The truth is, none of it matters. It has never been easier to press a button and become a mini global media company by transmitting yourself to the world. You just have to press the button. Of course, you have to make sure you're in a quiet area, maybe put in some headphones to help. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to start out. That guy is walking around yelling into his phone with some old headphones and runs the most popular shows around. Instead of worrying about equipment, spend that time thinking about what type of audience you want to attract, how you'll structure the show, and who you want to be on with you. Do not claim that the audio needs to be perfect to be successful, because that is simply not true. A second example is to do with brand accounts and branding. I know people who will spend an age thinking on a name, a handle, what the profile picture should be, what the YouTube banner should be. None of this actually gets you producing the product that you should be producing. In fact, there are great examples of people who don't bother at all. For example, Leon and Kermit at Unfungible have done a great job of building a Web3 business with no corporate account, just focusing on putting out great content as founders. We, on the other hand, have taken a different approach because we wanted a separate account, but we did not spend a huge amount of time on our branding at the beginning. Why not? Because ultimately, if the show is good, people will listen irrespective of what animal mascot you choose to brand yourself with. And conversely, no animal mascot will save your content. So we had a very imperfect set of branding at the start, and almost a year later, we're now investing heavily into a rebrand, which you will see more of soon. With the profits we have already made from the show. So this not only gets you focused on creating the best product, but is also a smarter use of capital. So 2 key takeaways for today. Do not procrastinate on technology or platforms if it is preventing you from producing the content, and do not procrastinate on optics and branding if it is preventing you from producing content. Produce and find PMF first, up level and find perfection after. Legendary, you've been a part of this journey all the way and were in charge of our branding at the beginning. How did you experience our approach to branding, and what do you think we should do next?
I think we did the right thing with that, because I'm not a native speaker, but I would think that for a native speaker, it has to be even more outstanding what some of the biggest companies in the world are named. One is named Apple. Microsoft has a product called Windows. Name doesn't really matter. Like if you say in German, hey, I'm using Windows, it's not as apparent. If you say it in English and you think about what the word means, it sounds good, but it doesn't matter. And I actually think that with the branding that we had, it did the job perfectly. The name of the show works perfectly. It's even very descriptive of what this is, a show that talks about the modern market, whatever that is. Super flexible, could be NFTs and crypto for the next 10 years. All we know, in 2030, we could talk about AI-based business model all the time, or whatever that might be. So you can basically get stuck easily by thinking and trying to perfect everything in your head and never get started with stuff. Same on the tech side of things. I'm a tech maxi. I always like to upgrade to the newest shit, but I also absolutely know that I don't need that. And we've seen it so many times with guests who show up with AirPods, with a mic. You know, the mic is not positioned perfectly. AirPods maybe run out of charge. I'm asking all the time, are you on a MacBook Pro? They say yes. I say MacBook Pro has 6 inbuilt microphones and actually sounds pretty good. Use that and don't overthink, don't overcomplicate.